Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 16th of February. Before we get on to the technicals, quick look at the fundamentals. During the evening then, or during this evening, it's not the evening at all, was it? During this morning, early morning, then retail sales came out in the UK much better than expected, significantly better than expected after a horrible start to the year. These numbers are certainly, I say start to the year, the initial numbers, last month's numbers, these are significantly better for the UK here. Now, we saw some figures, some disappointing figures in the US yesterday. We got some more US inflation data today. Beware, it can create some volatility. It's not normally as strong a volatility as the CPI, is what we had yesterday, but it can create volatility. So just beware. Trader beware, as they say. Okay, what else we got today? There's not a great deal there. I was just looking. The French data doesn't create any volatility generally at all. That particular data, we've got the Canadian data there, wholesale sales, nothing. US so it's all about the PPI later, and then University of Michigan. We get a little bit of happening around the sentiment there at 3 o'clock, but generally it's not a biggie. So there we go. Got a couple of speakers just to finish the day off, but we'll be finished well before then. It's Poets Day. So technical wise, the euro dollar still got this selling trend, but yes, we did get quite a rally following the news. We saw during the news we saw quite a kicker coming through there at 1 o'clock. It didn't go on a great deal more, but it was a decent move all the same up to its R3 there, and then finding resistance. Today I'm sort of looking at this, and in the short term you'd be tempted to go for the long side, but the way it's shaping up here, I'm sort of thinking, well, if it breaks down the lows here, this could be on back for its S1, bit more of a correction. It's sort of starting to look like. Thing is, I'm looking at the daily candle, and I shouldn't be even looking at today's candle at this stage. It has, to be fair, putting a pivot swing in there, which is quite a bullish move, but I don't want to be looking to buy at the bottom, so that's not for me. I could be, as I say, the trade that would be right for me would be the short there. The pound struggled here a little bit, but it did manage okay-ish yesterday. I was looking for shorts on this yesterday. Look, I've still got my alert on there, and it didn't cross it. It knew not to cross that line. Anyway, so well, it's run up back into its weekly pivot there, having a problem to get beyond it. Even with this good news, it's sort of popped and dropped. Okay, it's a bit early, the big volume's not in there. Maybe we'll see that taken back up again post 8 o'clock, but for now it's reacted. It's given us a bit of a double top, and again you could be looking at the lows and a runoff here. As I said, it just looks, it was in a bit of a descending channel-y sort of price action. US dollar yen, well, this still remains bullish. I did some more analysis on the yen yesterday and found out that actually the Bank of Japan didn't seem too bothered by the weakening of the yen, well, fill your boots. Any intervention could be create more long side. I am looking back into the longs for this, and it's I don't know, a break of this high here from the early hours could be of interest, but again, it's got to be later in the day. Maybe driven by news. It's a bit of a mess of what it's done. It has put a higher low in just about. It needs to get back up there and give me this next higher low, and I'm more likely to be with it. Aussie dollar. The Aussie is struggling into its my neckline. This is the neckline of the Head and Shoulders, and it was previously had some support and resistance around it. It's one of these pivotal areas. You see a couple of spots, you put your line on, and then you find everything else that sort of sits with it. And it was obviously a pivotal level, important to keep an eye on. The traders will play around them once they're sort of identified by more and more. Anyway, it was doing a bit of a recovery this week. It's back above the weekly pivot at the moment, so erring short term on the bullish side of things here. It's just redrawing this trend line actually. Well, that was a nice fit. There we go. I'll put it on a nice fit. It's about right anyway. It's triple topped in this little time frame here on the hourly time frame. It would need to break the lows between the last two highs for me to be interested on the short side. I was looking at the short side yesterday on the break there, never happened. I'm not really wanting to be a buyer of this. It's still in a downward trend. I want to be a seller, but if it's not going to set up for me, I'm not interested. The US dollar, Canadian dollar, yesterday we saw a bit of strength coming back through it, and it's been working its way the previous day. It run through there on Wednesday. Yesterday it just sort of continued. The news helped it there at it was actually at 1:30. The news kicked in there and helped it, and it's sort of continuing to tickle down there and looking like it might have some more of that yet. It's not a great place to get in with the pivot above. I'd have liked it to have, if it's going to react to its daily pivot, then roll over. So see what happens as it develops. It has got this little upward trend on the dailies, so we've got to be a bit careful. The higher lows being set in that, but I'm really looking for the breakdown of it at some stage, but maybe next week now, and more of a swing position potentially. New Zealand dollar, well, I was wondering yesterday whether this would push up further. It's slacking. It's slacking, but it's got scope. I was actually looking at the range between the lows here and the high. We were part up through the range there. Eventually broke. It's dithering at the moment, but maybe it's still got scope for more. If it takes out the highs, of course, then the quarterly pivot that's given us the resistance up there might be hit again, but it's just slowed up at the moment. Bit of action this morning might just help it. It's not one I want to enter from where it is. Doesn't mean so I wouldn't have wanted to enter it originally, but when it's dithering and I'm not in it, I'm not looking to get in it. Okay, this Swissy yesterday, a bit more of a recovery back. Recovery for the Swissy, not for the dollar here. The dollar sold off here with the news. It was setting up okay for potential flag there, but it's just taking so long and just then rolled over. Not doing a great deal actually. That's better. So this is what I like to see as a price action. So there's scope across. I'll be a bit probably modest on this and pop it across here, but modest, conservative, that's the word, and wait to see if it breaks down further here. So there is a bit of scope for the continuation of this move. Now arguably it's against trend, so have to watch that carefully. In fact, we'll see what happens. There is the alternative. If it breaks back above the pivot, I'm just looking at what's going with the trend here. If it does hold up here, breaks the pivot, well, it has got the R1. The only thing is we've got the 50 MA coming down quite strongly there. Okay, Euro Yen still pushing up here, still tootling on. Broken the previous highs there again, and looking like it's got something more in it. Higher lows going through, so it's got scope for some more. It's a bit of a mess with how it's sitting at the moment, but it's got the potential to continue. Okay, leaving it there for now. Actually, I haven't looked at the Euro CAD. What's happened there? Oh, that's okay. That's still doing nothing. Doing nothing is better than doing something against you. It had me moving against me. I'm still short on this. It's doodling. maybe at some point it will break the lows there and continue. Right, now it's out on that for now. Let's just quick look for those trading the indices and gold and oil. Let's just have a look at gold. Gold picked up a little bit yesterday, trying to get back above its yearly pivot there. It's still looking a bit biased towards the downside at this stage. It's a bit of a surprise, but we just saw that big sell-off coming through there on Tuesday, and that just really gave it the kick in. And it is sitting on this lower time frame. You can see how it's just sitting on the underside of the quarterly pivot. So there's scope for that to continue to roll to the downside there. That's what's in shape with the price action. We'll see what happens there. Gold, oil even. Oil yesterday recovered on that lower data and the weaker dollar. So it's a weaker dollar rather than a gold effect, gold oil effect really. There we go. Pushing up in the afternoon there. It really got the boost there. It already moved quite nicely with the news event helped it there. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock came. Continuation pushing through. We'll see what happens later. It's rolling back towards its pivot a little bit at this stage. If it rolls back maybe 2 o'clock this afternoon, it could be on for the long side again. It's sort of there on the dailies. We've sort of been moving up there. It's slow. It's sort of almost double topped. Right, the S&Ps. S&Ps yesterday then back into continuation, normal, service as normal. They like the inflation data pushing up, positive there, higher lows going through. It remains more positive. Horrible sort of long periods yesterday. Didn't really get the kicker where you would expect it to have got the kicker. It was quite late before it started rallying in the later US session. I don't know what I'm looking at Nasdaq for. It's quite similar. Finally, the Nasdaq, the DAX even pushed up there, managed to get its continuation, and it's pretty much now. Let's have a quick measure. Yeah, it's 408 points. Yeah, it's broken it now. So it's finished the move from the descending channel eventually. It's broken out through that. Certainly covered it off yesterday. So there you go. A descending channel taken a month of Sundays it seems, but it's moved in the right direction and just held up there. The FTSE, I like to call it the pound, but it is the FTSE. Just remind myself for some reason. Coming back to its yearly pivot here again, seeing on the GDP figures yesterday didn't really help it too much, but we're seeing it push on through here. GDP figures, I say, didn't help it too much. It probably helped it in terms of to a degree. But it was really the afternoon there that it really got a move on. But maybe it's got some more upside there with the rest of the equity markets all pushing up. There we go. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to end up the YouTube video here. If you want to come and join me, there's a link at the bottom underneath the video. You can come and join the room at around about 8:30. Take care. Bye for now.